Hello, my lovelies. Just a quick hello for the morning. So I have seen a number of posts on social media and message boards in various places for people looking for hexes and for love spells and love potions and how to keep their significant someone. And I have to say, I get it. When you're with someone and you want it to be permanent, you want it to be permanent. You don't want to have to go looking again. Totally get it. I don't want to do it either. But here's the thing with that. If you cast a spell or do a working or anything like that, what happens if you change your mind? But if you're 3 years into a relationship and suddenly it's not what you want? It happens all the time. If you've cast a spell or working on your significant other, are they then stuck, obsessing over you, and pining for you for the rest of their life? What are you going to do to fix that? Or, another question is, what happens if you doubt? What if you do cast that spell or do that working or binding and 3 years down the road, do you wonder if they really care about you for you? Or do they care about you because you made them, you forced them? I mean, think about that. It's like Christmas morning when we were kids. You go down and you open presents and woohoo, you're surprised, everything's exciting, and the magic of Christmas is there. What if all the presents were out a week before, and while everybody was sleeping, you snuck down there and you went through all your presents, and the magic was gone then on Christmas morning? The feeling of family and togetherness wasn't there anymore. A relationship of any kind takes work. Doesn't matter if it's a friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, parent, child, doesn't matter. You have to do the work for the relationship to work. That's why it's called relationship to work. Seriously. You have to do what you have to do to make it work. You can't cause it because that devalues your relationship. For those that are into prayer, whether you're praying to your deities or your guides, or if you're of the Abrahamic faiths, doesn't matter. You pray for things. I get it. So what happens if your prayer doesn't get answered? You move on, you figure it out, you work at it. I mean, Garth Brooks had a song a while back where in the chorus line it says, "Thank God for unanswered prayers." Isn't that the truth? It really, really is, because I know I personally have had a couple of really significant relationships in my life, and the first one, I'd have done anything for the other person, really, really, well, almost anything, and I was committed. The other person wasn't, and no matter how much I hoped and prayed, it didn't happen. Now, this other person had a hard time staying faithful, and we tried a more committed relationship for a period of time, and the faithfulness was better, but it was really hard for the other person, and because they just weren't ready. And if we had gotten together or stayed together more permanently, who's to say what would have happened down the road? There would have been resentment, hard feelings, anger, bitterness, and betrayal. And who wants that as a foundation for a relationship? That is not healthy at all. And then I had another relationship later. I really liked this person a lot. I really cared about this person. And we were good together. And our families blended well. And I was willing to do whatever it took. I was trying my hand at being more openly communicative, which is ironically hard. And it didn't work. I didn't know why it didn't work. It just didn't work. A couple of years later, I figured out that this other person had gone back to their previous relationship and was trying both relationships at the same time. Because people, I guess. And that led me to my spouse. And I really care about my spouse. And it hasn't been easy at all. We've had our ups and downs. We've had some counseling because we needed it. And I suppose on that note, if you need therapy, go do it. Doggone it. Sometimes you need to work out your issues between yourself and a therapist before you try to do it with another person, especially one that you care about or one that cares about you. Because often, those that we care about unintentionally harm us. The power to harm is almost greater from those that we care about because we value their words and their actions more. And it has more weight coming from someone we care about than it does from a total stranger. So, if you need the care to get your head figured out, do it. You'll be better. You'll be happier for it. Believe me on this one. Been there, done that. Anyways, we did the couples therapy thing, and you know what? We've been together almost 20 years, which is just pretty awesome. It's nice knowing that I'm going home to the same person every night. I know that if I don't get something done, often this other person will take care of it, and vice versa. I hate dishes. And it shows. I do them, but not as often as I should, so for that I do apologize. And I hate dusting. It just is a never-ending battle. I have pets, and I live in the country. Dusting is always happening. Well, it should always be happening. So when you're in a committed relationship, you need to do the work to commit yourself. And if that feeling is not reciprocated, is not returned, that's okay. It is okay. And if a relationship doesn't work out, you know what? You'll be okay. You will be absolutely fine. Take some time to heal. Don't jump into the next one. But if someone hurts you because they broke up with you, don't hex them. That's not the way to do it. Don't do a binding to prevent them from ever being happy again. That's part of the reason why some follow the threefold rule, or they firmly believe in karma. I personally believe that the energy you put out there is the energy that you will draw. Because that's the way it works. What you're listening for is exactly what you will hear. So if you're looking for negatives or listening for the negatives in life, that's exactly what you're going to find. Now, if you're looking for the positives in life and the joy and the happiness, you know what? That's what you're going to find too. So don't retaliate with magical means if someone upsets you or hurts you. And don't try to bind or change someone to care about you, because that's not going to help you either. It's not going to make you feel good about yourself. It's not going to make you feel rewarded in your life. And you're going to always wonder if they really care about you because of you, or do they care about you because of a spell or a magic or working. So you have to pay attention to that. You have to weigh the pros and cons and balance it out. And for a relationship to really work, both of you have to be committed, and you both have to do the work. Period. You cannot just assume that someone's going to care about you because you want them to. If that was true, do you know how many famous people would be married and together with normal people? A lot. Like most of them. Also, if you're always looking for the negative or wanting to retaliate via magic, you may draw that same kind of person to you. So, think about that for a moment. Before you try to do a love spell or a hex or a binding or anything, how would you feel if they were trying to do that to you? Would you be happy? Would you be satisfied? Would you be hurt? Probably hurt. Because there is more than one way to have a relationship, and forcing it is not the way to go about it. So, my little witchlings, Paisley Wild, I'm telling you right now, don't hex people in retaliation, especially for a relationship gone bad. Love potions, are they a thing? That's a debate for another time. You won't feel rewarded. You won't feel the benefit. You won't feel the joy that you would have if it came naturally. Just like opening those presents, whether it's your birthday presents or Christmas presents or whatever, before the rest of the family. You'll take away the magic of growing in the relationship, the magic of growing as a person. You just can't force it. Now, that all being said, are there times when a hexing or a binding should happen? Yes. Yes, there are. Abuse. I could see why you would want to hex someone for abuse or assault or any of those major crimes. Absolutely. I get it. Don't do it yourself. Magical workings, when angry, have a life of their own. They take on their own energy. It's a different type of magic. So perhaps not do it yourself. Maybe go to someone else. Seek counseling from your spiritual leaders before you do anything like that. If you are in a coven or a circle, or moot, talk to your leadership. Often you're going to need some counseling if you've received or been on the receiving end of any of that kind of harmful attention. And you need to really work on yourself too, because holding the anger inside of you will also have a life of its own, and it's not good for you. I want you to be healthy, so pay attention to that. Talk to your leadership, seek counseling. Your mental health is important. If your mental health is not where it needs to be, because you're dealing with trauma of some sort, it's going to affect your magic. It's going to affect the relationships in the rest of your life. So just be aware. And you can reach out to me. I'm probably not going to be your best resource, so I would probably refer you to somewhere else, just because I don't necessarily have the skill set to help you. But I will be there for you, which is something else entirely. So if you know someone who's had that kind of traumatic experience or has had that really bad negative attention, don't be afraid to be there for them. They need you. I see a lot of victim blaming in the world today, and it's really so sad. It's not the victim's fault that someone else has decided to be harmful. We cannot force someone to do something. It just, not the way it works. So, as a pagan, as a witch, think before you cast. Don't try to force that relationship. It may not be the one you want. Think about that. And don't wallow in the negativity. Look for the positive. The sun is shining. It's beautiful. I hear the birds singing. They're awesome. I feel the wind upon my face. It's glorious. Okay, breeze. I like the breeze better than the wind, just saying, because we've had some windy days lately. There's energy in a storm. It's stupendous. Look for the beauty and the joy in everyday life. You'll be happier for it. But back to what I was originally talking about. Don't look for the spell to force someone to love you. It's unrewarding. And don't do hexes or bindings as a knee-jerk reaction. They require some thought. And you need to focus on your intention. What is your intention? What is the reason you're doing this thing? And if it's not for a good reason, maybe you need to question yourself. Is it really something you need to be doing? So, that's my 3 cents for the day. So this is Paisley Wild. This is the Spaces Between. If you like what I have to say, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe, and you'll get more messages in the future. So, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Have a good day, my lovelies.